Look, I was very skeptical of the Libyan intervention for a couple of reasons. One, I thought that direct intervention into another Arab Muslim country in this context was not a good idea, given the unknowns that we face there and given our experience in Iraq. My primary objection was the way in which it was decided, in which the Congress had almost no role whatsoever, which the American public had no role whatsoever, in which an imperial president simply decided this is what he was going to do. Which I think was a mistake and an abandonment of a certain principle in Obama's foreign policy. And I stick with that. I also stick with a certain skepticism about what lies ahead in Libya. I worry about regimes that emerge out of what are essentially civil wars as opposed to genuine, spontaneous democratic revolutions. But, and the but is important, it has gone much better than I anticipated. He has been removed in ways that people thought might be much more difficult than it's turned out to be. The reports we're getting from the rebels are actually, from the people actually there talking to them, are encouraging about the nature of the regime that they want to install, the democratic regime. So, look, this may be one example in which the results will vindicate the original decision. And I think they may already have to a great extent. That doesn't mean to say I would still have made that decision. But it does say that Obama is smarter than he's often given credit for in terms of foreign policy. More generally, I think his foreign policy has been one of the most remarkable aspects of his presidency. I think he's managed the epochal changes in the Middle East rather deftly. He hasn't satisfied the neocons who want him to jump up and down and sing America's virtues every time someone stands up in a street in a foreign land and yells for freedom. But I think that helps them, doesn't hurt them. It's not about us anymore. It really is about them. And I think the pursuit of al-Qaeda and the killing of bin Laden did in 2 years in Afghanistan more than Bush managed in 8. And I also think the withdrawal from Iraq, I'm praying that Muqtada al-Sadr will insist we're all thrown out by December 31st, is also going to plan. What I worry about, the one thing I worry about is I don't want this to be GHW Obama. In other words, a president that we will, in the future, look back on and realize was just a genius, but somehow got thrown out because of a recession. That's my fear. I think he has successfully ended the wounds of the Bush period, which were deep and difficult, and has recast America's image, and has a chance, certainly, if he's given a second term, to do greater and more interesting and more complicated things, especially with respect to the Israel-Palestine question. So I think he's doing great in foreign policy. I still disagree with him on Libya, but you know what? He turned out to be pretty much right about it, and it behooves me to say that.